Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do a really fun, vast, large mountain scene with a small waterfall in the background. And of course, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. Let's get started. We'll start off today here with a 2-inch brush and a beautiful, soft little blue color. A little blue and white, touch of red into it just to make it nice. Let's come right up here to the top and drop in. Drop in our beautiful, tiny sky. Not much of a sky today, just a little. We don't have much room for a sky with all the mountains we want to paint. And that's fine. This is going to be one of those where the mountains are just sort of the feature of the painting. I haven't done one of those in a little while, so it'd be kind of fun to get back to that. There. Be very careful. Remember, the more paint you put on, the harder it is to put your mountains over. There. So I'm being pretty careful. I'm already envisioning these mountains in my mind here, so that I don't get too much of this blue down into the mountain. Next, I'm going to load a filbert brush with very soft gray color. And with the soft gray, I'm going to simply block in a couple of little clouds up here. We don't have much room for clouds, but you know, it's fine. I still want them, and I think they're cool. In the mountains, you get so many clouds, and so I think it'll just be, you know, really nice. They'll add a little something to the painting. There. Okay, cool. Doesn't take too many, and obviously doesn't take too much time, since there isn't much space to cover. Good. And as you can see, obviously, I've done a normal sketch. We do those all the time. The little basic sketch over the canvas to tell me where I want my mountains. There. It helps you and me stay on the right track. Otherwise, oh boy, we'd be lost pretty quick, wouldn't we? The sketches really help. It's the same idea as if you were using like a charcoal pencil or something. Same exact idea. Now let's go ahead and just drop in most of the dark color here to these mountains. Using a little bit of black, brown, touch of white in it, but not much, and a little bit of mud every once in a while. Just random colors that I have laying around on the palette. All right, there's some. See that? You can just go right over your clouds or whatever else is there. It won't hurt anything, as long as there's not too much paint down. Good. All right, maybe just a little peek right there. See, you can do a whole bunch of different things. Avoid, however, the pyramid shapes. So that's why I see this spot. Let's bring this over. And honestly, if you need help with mountains, we have a couple of DVDs that might help you. And they'll really help get you away from the pyramids and all that stuff. So there you go. So see how I made that adjustment there? Cool. Simply block in the rest of this area pretty easily. There, use a variety of colors. Now before we go too far here with the mountains, I want to just very carefully drop in a little bit of water back here. Very small strip of water that comes to about there. I don't care about any of that section yet. All right, now maybe just let me get a little gray. See, look at my palette, it's a big mess. So I just slide over here and I find something that looks like gray, load it up, and let me just slide that gray right in here. And you know, maybe it's lighter out there, who knows. We can adjust and play around with this all day long if we want to, so I'm not concerned with it just yet. Now while we're blocking things in, I'm just gonna take this time to just throw a little bit of dark color here for the grass. And as you can see, I just grabbed a little bit of green, black, and whatever else might have happened to sneak into the brush. Didn't make much difference. There. This will turn into grass or trees or just about anything else we want to. Maybe we'll throw some rocks in there. I just need dark color to work with. You can't stick any of that pretty stuff over white. It won't show very well. All right. And of course, you gotta build some depth in the underpainting. You guys know this. So I'm gonna have you just throw in a little bit of light. Get a little bit lighter as you go back, because even the underpainting must have depth to it. Next, I'll load up a beautiful soft highlight color. And you can see I've actually made several colors here. And I'm gonna load them into the detail round brush. And the reason I have several colors is so that I can do some very quick changes so that it's not all one color. There. It's very important, and I do suggest you try playing around with, you know, doing that when you're mixing up one color. Mix up 2 or 3 instead. Very simple, you know, grab a little red, a little brown, just, you know, any kind of color, just to make a variation. There. Then you can quickly make a change, you know, don't even have to think about it. Nice. Not sure if I mentioned it yet, but I'm sure it's pretty obvious. The light's coming across like this. Just thought I'd say it just so, well, I don't know, just so you guys know for sure. There. I'm sure you already knew. Okay, back to mountain painting here. There. I don't want to overdo this highlight. Right over here, let's make an adjustment and make this, yeah, let's make like a little piece that stands out like this. That's cool. Great. All right. I'm just going to keep doing this until a lot of this background area is highlighted. Now I'm going to carefully drop on a little bit of highlight here. This is just some white touch, just tiniest little touch of blue, not much. And see, I'm just throwing on a little bit of highlight to these distant waterfalls. Just takes a couple of brush strokes, really. The more you touch it, the softer it gets. So if you want a little bit of this canvas texture, just touch it lightly. This is a soft brush and it shouldn't mix too much if the paint is applied sparingly. The underpainting, that is. Okay, I'm not even going to worry about there too much yet. I want to first get a little bit more of this waterfall in. There. There. It's kind of nice. It's distant and far away, although it is kind of one of the features, one of the things you see when you look at this painting. Now with our little detail brush, I'm going to simply drop in a couple of little trees here. Not too big, maybe not really too much taller than this area here. And these trees, they're just going to be pretty dark. I won't worry about highlighting them too much. We'll highlight them a little bit, not much. And this will really give us some beautiful contrast back here, which we're always looking for. And I put that little strip of light here, and look at how well they have contrast against that light. Oh yeah, be careful. You got to do this in 1 or 2 strokes, or otherwise they start to get muddy, especially over that light. So watch this. You kind of drag down, wipe your brush off, reload it, and then come back so that you don't get that light color into the branch. Otherwise, your contrast won't be there. So that's a little tip that might sort of help you. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop in a beautiful larger evergreen up here. What this is going to do is provide a lot of contrast. We'll highlight it, but we won't highlight it much. There we go. You can vary your colors. Throw some green, throw some brown, you know, whatever. Cool. Leave a lot of gaps. And as you can see, I've been just working on a little tree over here too. Similar idea, just took the little detail round and sort of made some dabs and, you know, just do all sorts of beautiful trees. Very simple. There. And you know what? If you struggle with trees, it just takes a bit of practice. So don't be afraid to practice. It always helps. There. Now I'm going to very carefully tap on just a touch of highlight here and there with the detail round brush. And this is just about the way we'll do all these trees in the foreground because I don't want too much. Number one, a lot of this highlight is similar color to the background and it would just sort of melt together anyways, so what's the point of doing a whole bunch? And number two, and the more important one, I don't want to lose the contrast. You see how there's a bright background against a dark tree, and you see how that works pretty well? I'd hate to lose that, so I'm not going to overdo this highlight, although I don't want a flat tree, so I will do just a bit. There you go. All right, just spend a few minutes doing this. See how that melts right in the background, especially that area. So that's kind of a good example of why we're not too worried about this. And maybe just a touch. I'm going to darken it a bit. Darken it a bit and just throw a little bit out on these trees here. Now I'm going to go ahead and just drop in a few rocks right here. I don't need many, and you'll notice, look at the color that I chose. It's a very soft brown, and it's not very bright for highlight. Because, here's why. I'm doing this painting, you know, so it's very dark in the foreground. Well, not very dark, but you know, a bit dark, and then the background's super bright. What that'll do is draw you right back and hold your attention to the background. Although this will be finished and it will be detailed in the foreground, I'm not going to leave it like blank. It's going to be soft and, well, it won't jump out at you, which is exactly what I want this time. There you go. So, just take a few minutes. Don't go too bright. You can do a little bit of like spot highlighting and, you know, just let that light sort of filter through, but it'll be very minimal. That way at least we have a little bit of excitement going on in the foreground. It's not totally dull. All right. Now right here, in the foreground, I'm going to just carefully drop in a little bit of highlight to this rushing river as it comes forward here. And like I mentioned here, I want to just do a little bit of highlighting in areas, not a lot. Really not a lot. There. I'm going to be super careful, and I'm not going to take very long with this because it's not going to be everywhere. You know, it's just these little areas, so it won't take very long. Good. Okay. See that? So there's a little bit of my highlighting, and maybe this same old highlight works its way down just a bit right here. We can do that. And then just about right here, we'll start letting it slip back into shadow. Speaking of shadow, I better mix up a little blue. Here we go. Little blue. The more you touch this against, especially, this is pretty sparingly down here, but these rocks have a lot of paint on them, so especially as you touch it against that, the more you do that, the muddier things get. So just kind of a little bit of a caution there. Now with our fan brush, I'm going to drop in a little bit of grass here. Right here in this sort of shadowy area. So it won't be very bright. You can see you just put a little bit of highlight and a little bit of highlight and leave the rest kind of blank. Not blank, but not so highlighted. And it really just kind of gives you the effect of the sunlight filtering through the trees. I think that's cool. So just thought I'd point that out. There. I'm just going to do a similar effect here. Maybe drop down and do a little bit here. It's pretty easy. There. Didn't take too much effort. Good. Jump back to a darker color. And although it's not really getting much sunlight, we do have to put something in so that it's not flat. Now, last thing we're going to do here is finish up with some grass and maybe some limbs and stuff. Liner brush work. Great. I'm just going to start right down here. Now look how they're not so bright. I wouldn't want anything that doesn't fit. There. It just adds a little bit of interest to the foreground. Not a whole lot. There. Just breaks it up. Keeps it from being horribly flat. Especially because I didn't do too much to this area. So this will help to finish it out. You always have to finish it even if it's not bright. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out my website, my DVDs, and also my brush line. And thanks for watching.